Top 20 everyday things you didn't know have hidden history. Most of the objects we use every day feel normal, familiar, ordinary. But many of them have surprisingly fascinating origins, stories full of innovation, mistakes, accidents, and sometimes pure necessity. From school buses to pencil erasers, here are 20 everyday things you didn't know have hidden history. Number 20. Yellow school buses. Why are school buses yellow? In the 1930s, a group of school officials and transportation experts determined yellow was the most visible color in early morning and late afternoon light. The official color, National School Bus Chrome, became a safety standard because the human eye notices yellow in peripheral vision. Number 19. Why pencils have erasers. The eraser wasn't part of the original pencil. In 1770, a French engineer named Nicolas Jacques-Conti invented the modern pencil lead. But early pencils didn't include erasers. It wasn't until the 1850s that American inventor Hyman Lipman patented the first pencil with a built-in eraser, combining two useful tools. Number 18. Coffee filters were invented by accident. In 1908, German housewife Melita Benz was tired of bitter coffee and gritty grounds in her cup. She experimented with blotting paper from her son's school notebook and eventually invented the first coffee filter, launching an entire industry. Number 17. Toilet paper has a surprising origin. Toilet paper wasn't commercially available in the U.S. until 1857. Before that, people used everything from leaves and corn cobs to cloth and newspaper. Joseph Gayetti introduced the first packaged toilet paper, marketed as medicated sheets to promote hygiene. Number 16. French fries are not from France. Despite the name, French fries likely originated in Belgium, where villagers fried small fish. In winter, when rivers froze, they cut potatoes into fish-like shapes and fried them instead, and the tasty result stuck. American soldiers in World War I encountered them in Belgium and called them French because of the local language. Number 15. The paperclip was designed for efficiency. The familiar double-loop paperclip design gem paperclip became popular in the late 1800s. Its inventor wasn't definitively recorded, but the shape was adopted because it held papers without damaging them, a clever but simple innovation that outlasted countless alternatives. Number 14. Mailboxes and the letter P.O. Before street mailboxes existed, people delivered letters directly to post offices. The abbreviation P.O. stands for post office. The first street mailboxes in the U.S. were introduced around 1858 in Boston, making mail pickup easier for everyday people. Number 13. Bicycle reflectors came from automotive safety. Early cars were becoming more common in the 1920s and 30s. Bicycle reflectors were designed based on car reflector technology to improve nighttime visibility, making bikes safer long before LED lights existed. Number 12. Potatoes were once worth their weight in gold. After potatoes were introduced to Europe from the Americas, people were suspicious of them. In 18th century Prussia, so few people would eat them that King Frederick the Great ordered soldiers to guard potato fields, making theft a punishable offense. Suddenly, potatoes became a symbol of wealth. Number 11. Sneakers got their name from sneaking. Early rubber-soled shoes were quiet compared to leather soles. People began calling them sneakers because you could sneak up silently while wearing them. The name stuck. Number 10. Keys changed security forever. Keys weren't always common. Early locks were large, wooden, and simple. Metal keys became widely used during the Middle Ages, and as lock technology improved, keys became symbols of privacy and property, technology that shaped how cities and homes were secured. 9. Socks weren't always worn with shoes. In ancient Rome, people wore sandals and went barefoot. The word sock comes from the Latin soccus, meaning a low slipper. Only when enclosed shoes became common did socks become a standard part of daily wear. Number 8. Forks were once considered sinful. When forks were first introduced in medieval Europe, They were criticized by church officials because using a tool to eat was seen as unnatural. It wasn't until the 17th century that forks became common among the wealthy and eventually everyone. Number 7. Baseball caps started as sun protection. The first baseball caps in the mid-1800s were designed to keep sun out of players' eyes. Their popularity led them into everyday fashion, becoming a global accessory. Number 6. Notebooks used to be luxury items. Paper was expensive for most of history, so people recycled pages, bound scraps, and wrote sparingly. Once printing and paper production scaled in the 19th century, inexpensive notebooks became widely accessible, changing how people learn, work, and journal. Number 5. Chairs were once a status symbol. For centuries, seats of any kind were reserved for the elite. In medieval times, only kings and nobles used chairs. Everyone else sat on benches, stools, or the floor. The chair became a symbol of authority before it became everyday furniture. Number 4. Clocks were once only church tools. Before mechanical clocks, most people tracked time by the sun or church bells. Early public clocks were installed in cathedrals and town squares so communities could synchronize daily life. Number 3. The tie began as horsey fashion. Neckties originated from 17th century Croatian mercenaries. They used colorful scarves to secure shirt openings. The style was adopted by the French upper class, evolving into the modern tie. Number 2. The coffee break has a workplace history. The modern coffee break didn't become a standard workplace practice until the early 20th century. In 1952, earlier studies showed that short breaks improved worker productivity. Coffee was added because it was convenient and became cultural ritual. Number 1. Birthday candles were inspired by ancient rituals. The tradition of placing candles on cakes goes back to ancient Greece. People placed candles on cakes to honor the moon goddess. Artemis, circle shape and light symbolize the moon and divine presence. Modern birthdays inherited and adapted this ritual over centuries. The world around you isn't random. It's layered with forgotten stories, strange accidents, clever inventions, and decisions made hundreds of years ago that still shape your day. That yellow bus, that pencil in your hand, that fork on your table, they all survived history for a reason. And once you start noticing the hidden stories behind ordinary things, you can't unsee them. If you enjoy uncovering the surprising truths hiding in plain sight, subscribe to Facts, Trivia, and Stuff, because the everyday world is way more interesting than it looks.